On the news tonight, federal government deploys artificial intelligence to strengthen the country's food system. Court of Appeal sitting rules that the Federal Road Safety Corps lacks the legal authority to seize driver's licenses and vehicles without lawful justification. President Bola Tinubu confers national honors on the Super Falcons following their victory at WAFCON. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump sets new deadline for Russia over its war in Ukraine. Good evening, this is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. My name is Okpayemuni. Vice President Kashim Shettima says the federal government is deploying artificial intelligence and other modern technologies to strengthen the country's food system. Shettima spoke on Monday at the opening session of the United Nations Food Systems Summit, stocktake in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The summit builds on the 2021 UN Food Systems Summit and the first stocktake in 2023, with a focus on accelerating sustainable, inclusive, and resilient food systems. The Vice President noted that food and nutrition are now central to the National Development Plan 2021-2025 and the Nigeria Agenda 2050. Shettima said Nigeria is partnering with the African Development Bank and the International Fund for Agricultural Development to invest in special agro-industrial processing zones. He noted that the federal government is scaling up investments in school feeding programs, nutrition-sensitive agriculture, and community-driven nutrition education. According to him, the Nutrition 774 initiative places local governments at the center of nutrition delivery.
2021, when we unveil our national food systems transformation pathway, Nigeria has journeyed with a clear compass. We have pursued institutional reforms with vigor. We have rolled out targeted investments in infrastructure and human capacity. We have deepened partnerships across sectors and prioritized agro-industrialization as a key driver of inclusive growth. Our declaration of a national emergency on food security was not a cry of alarm. It's the reason we are advancing the presidential initiative on food security, a mission designed to upscale the cultivation of vital staples.
The Court of Appeal sitting in Owerri, Imo State, has ruled that the Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC) lacks the legal authority to seize driver's licenses, vehicles, or related documents without lawful justification. This decision came in an appeal filed by the FRSC and the Corps Marshal and an officer against Dr. Emmanuel Ugochukwu Shep, respondent. The appellate court upheld the judgment of the High Court of Abia State, which had earlier ruled that such seizures amount to a violation of fundamental human rights. Delivering a unanimous judgment, Justices Amina Audi Wambai, M. Lawal Abubakar, and Ntong F. Ntong affirmed the FRSC's liability for rights violation. However, the court reduced the damages awarded to the respondent from 30 million naira to 10 million naira, covering general and exemplary damages. Here in Osun State, the anchor of Ebamikoya on Rave 91.7 FM and Western Spring Television, Segun Makinde, has been granted bail by a magistrate court sitting in Osogbo, the state capital, in an alleged defamation of one Abiodun Ladapo of Okweolu Farm. Abiodun Ladapo had alleged that his profession or reputation was exposed to ridicule after it was reported on Ebamikoya by Egbedi community of Osun State. Here is the report.
About 3 years ago, representatives of Egbedi community in Egbedere local government area of Osun State sought the help of Ebamikoya, a conflict resolution program on Rave 91.7 FM and Western Spring Television, over an alleged abuse of their human rights. The Egbedi community representatives accused one Abiodun Oladapo of Okweolu Farms of using chemicals to destroy farmlands allegedly belonging to the Elegbedi of Egbedi. After receiving the complaint, the anchor of Ebamikoya, Segun Makinde, reached out to Abiodun Oladapo to get his response to the allegations and work towards a resolution. It would be recalled that Ebamikoya is a Yoruba language conflict resolution program on Rave 91.7 FM and Western Spring Television, which focuses on resolving conflict and dispute, and which has been hailed by many for helping to combat human rights abuses in the society. Seemingly aggrieved that the occurrence was brought before the public, Abiodun Oladapo of Okweolu Farms then proceeded to institute an alleged defamation suit through the Commissioner of Police before a magistrate court in Osogbo. At the sitting of the court today, the anchor of Ebamikoya program, Segun Makinde, was present alongside the management and staff of Rave 91.7 FM and Western Spring Television, as well as executives of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Osun State Council, who were there to show solidarity and support. Inspector Lamidi Razak appeared as the police prosecutor, while Michael Akinwande stood as counsel for the defendant, and Niyi Akinshola held watching brief for Abiodun Oladapo, the nominal complainant. In the 4 counts charge, the defendant was accused of defamation and intimidation. When the charges were read to him, he pleaded not guilty. Counsel to the defendant, Michael Akinwande, applied for bail in the most liberal terms, and the police prosecutor, Inspector Lamidi Razak, did not oppose the bail application. After considering the application, Magistrate M.A. Olatunji granted the defendant's bail in the sum of 500,000 naira with 2 reliable sureties in like sum. Magistrate Olatunji then adjourned the case until 29th of September 2025 for hearing. Counsel to the defendant, Michael Akinwande, spoke to journalists outside the court.
Yes, my client was charged for defamation, and he has appeared before the court and he has been arraigned. And the magistrate has graciously granted us bail. So we'll perfect his bail and we'll continue from there.
Mr. Akinwande also affirmed that no one should be allowed to stop the media from performing its role as watchdogs of the society and a defender of the rights of the citizens.
If there are rights, if the court will determine, after putting so many evidence forward, the court will determine whether their rights were actually breached or not. And if their rights were not breached, then we'll proceed from there. No one can stop us from fighting for the right of humans. It is inherent in our nature to fight for justice. And that is what we are going to do in this case as well.
It should be noted that Abiodun Oladapo of Okweolu Farms had earlier filed a civil case before the State High Court in Osogbo with Egbedi Community and Rave 91.7 FM as defendant. The latest suit before the Magistrate Court in Osogbo continues on the 29th of September 2025, a date that has been set for hearing.
Civil society organization, the Osun Masterminds, has warned that the state of insecurity is beginning to look bigger than the capacity of the current security architecture in the country. Addressing journalists during the July State of the State address in Osogbo, Executive Director Professor Wasiu Oyedokwali stressed that the killings in the North Central and reports of insecurity across the country calls for immediate review of the federal government's counterterrorism policies and approach to national security. He also called on President Bola Tinubu to immediately rework the security architecture and kick out incompetent personnel and ensure motivation for personnel involved in the security of the country. The Osun Masterminds also condoled with the Osun Amotekun and the family of the personnel who lost his life in an alleged attack by military personnel over the weekend. The leader of the group, Comrade Ayologun, however, urged the security agency not to dabble into matters beyond their mandate. While speaking about the continued closure of the various local government secretariats in Osun State, a leader of the organization, Comrade Wole Oladapo, advised that a political solution must be sought to stop the grounding of local government activities and responsibilities. The Osun Masterminds also warned against abandoning governance in Osun State for politicking, adding that government functionaries should be preoccupied with the discharge of government responsibilities.
We are saddened by the level of insecurity in the country, which is beginning to look bigger than the capacity of our current security architecture. The killings in the North Central and reports of insecurity all around the country calls for immediate review of our counter-terrorism policy and our approach to national security. The President needs to immediately rework the security architecture, kicking out incompetent personnel and ensuring adequate motivation for the personnel involved in securing our country. Mr. President must realize that securing Nigeria is more important than every plan to win a re-election. He must not allow Nigeria to disintegrate under his watch, as this will place his name in the wrong page of history.
But I can assure you that one of the reasons why we seem to be having incessant attack on officers of Amotekun is the role they have played and the role they are playing. See, for every action, there will be a reaction. When a group of people overreach their duties and it seems they are uncontrollable, the people tend to take actions into their hands. Because from the grapevine, I heard that the Amotekun officer that was killed was actually killed by a citizen who just came back from Navy training or so, followed by a military officer. And he said it specifically, according to reports, that the reason why he decided to go and join the Navy is because of an Amotekun that wanted to carry out an event. Only God knows what Amotekun had done to his family or to his generation in the past. So if you continue to have incessant abuse of power by Amotekun, God forbid, this might not be the last we hear of revenge by the citizens. And this is the way forward. Rather, we have seen a situation where two local government chairmen are laying claim to a council that they both do not have access to as we speak. So the only solution as it stands today is a political solution. While we call for it, the actors must also be willing to make it the way to go. How did we start?
Elsewhere, former Kaduna State Governor Nasiru El-Rufai has been expelled from the Social Democratic Party, SDP. Announcing his expulsion from the party, SDP also imposed a 30-year ban on El-Rufai. SDP's National Working Committee, NWC, said the action was in line with the party's constitution, ideology, manifesto, principles, and practices, as well as in consonance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Electoral Act pertaining to the exclusive right of a political party to determine its membership. A statement by the party's spokesman, Arabarufos Ayenigba, warned members against associating with El-Rufai and those who do not represent its interests. It will be recalled that El-Rufai joined the SDP after quitting the All Progressives Congress, APC. However, El-Rufai is also a key member of the opposition coalition, which recently adopted African Democratic Congress, ADC, as its platform ahead of the 2027 election. In Rivers State, the State Independent Electoral Commission has announced August 30 as the new date for the 2025 local government elections. The exercise was initially scheduled for August 9. The announcement was made on Monday during a meeting of stakeholders at the RCF headquarters in Port Harcourt, where the agency unveiled the revised timetable and guidelines for the upcoming poll. Chairman of RCF, Michael Ode, explained that the decision to postpone the election was necessitated by the state of emergency declared in the state, which disrupted earlier plans. He noted that in view of the new realities, it became imperative to adjust the electoral calendar. Members of the All Progressives Congress, APC in Lagos, on Monday staged a protest at the House of Assembly complex, demanding the immediate removal of the party's state chairman, Pastor Cornelius Ojelabi. The demonstrators, reportedly drawn from the 57 local council development areas, LCDAs, across the state, converged at the assembly complex in Alausa, Ikeja, holding placards with messages like Ojelabi must go and we demand new leadership. The protesters voiced satisfaction with the current leadership, calling for a shake-up in the state party structure ahead of upcoming political activities. A heavy presence of police personnel was observed at the assembly to ensure the protest remained peaceful and to prevent any escalation into violence or disruption of public order.
They are not ready to listen to us. No matter what we say, they won't listen to us. As we are here now, I think they know we are here. They are not ready to come out and attend to us and listen to us. So they should please let us talk, listen to us, hear what we are saying. That is the meaning of choking us. They are choking us. We talk, they don't listen to what we.
In Oyo State, residents of Ibadan in the state capital have protested against the elongation of marked portions of land for the construction of the Ibadan Circular Road. The protest, which erupted on Monday, took the protesters to the entrance of the Oyo State Government Secretariat. Between 2003 and 2007, the Oyo State government, then under the leadership of Senator Rashidi Ladoja, marked some portions of land for the construction of a circular road in Ibadan. However, the project was not executed by the late Chief Adebayo Alao Akala, who took over from Ladoja. The residents, during Monday's peaceful protest, pleaded with the Makinde-led administration in the state not to extend the circular road beyond the already marked areas. The protesters, who were mostly from the Akinyele local government area, noted that many people had already been affected in the existing arrangement, with an appeal that the circular road should not be extended beyond 150 meters. You're watching News at 7 on Western Spring Television. Still to come, President Bola Tinubu expresses sorrow over loss of lives and destruction caused by recent flood in Adamawa and boat mishap